So I'd like to welcome in Senior Fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery. Admiral, always good to see you. Thank you for your time. So President Trump saying peace talks would resume today. Iran saying, no, there were no plans to hold direct talks. Where do you think things stand as far as negotiations at this point?
Look, I do think there are negotiations going on, probably through Oman, but and Qatar. But there's a low level of likelihood of success, and I think the president continues to put off making the really hard decision. I mean, are you going to try to force the IRGC, kind of compel them to accept our definition of international straits and how transits should go through the Strait of Hormuz, and then eventually compel them into giving up their nuclear program? Or are you going to continue to do this negotiation rope-a-dope where, they're professionals. The Iranians have out-negotiated the United States for, 25 years. And I expect they'll continue to do so in this latest version. So the president's really got himself in a bind. It's not just the elections. It's the military readiness he's burning. Our Navy ships, our Air Force aircraft fighter squadrons, and our Army air defenders are really, we're now at the point where they're starting to feel pain. And if it goes on another 3 to 6 months, it'll have significant long-term deleterious effects on the readiness of the military to do other missions. So he's got those pressing issues on him while he fails to make a decision right now.
Yeah, we certainly hope this will not continue on for another 6 to 8 months. So as you were speaking there, we saw the president's latest post on Truth Social. They're essentially saying that no, Iran does want to talk. They did come to the table. He says in some ways they were begging to talk. And you touched on this as well, the president announcing these talks after he again, threatened to hit Iran hard, but then again pulled back from those threats. There have been many threats, many claims of peace talks throughout this now months-long conflict that, the American people were initially told would just last a few weeks. What do you think this does, this back and forth, to the possibilities of bringing this to a resolution?
Look, I think a lot of what the president says is to communicate a strategic narrative that he likes, that he thinks calms the markets, keeps oil prices down, and enhances his opportunities in November. The problem is, at some point, this is self-defeating. It's continuing to extend this. And there's clearly the American people see that there's no certainty to these talks. And the Iranians make that clear with their statements that they're not really in the level of detail of these talks. So I'm afraid the president is talking himself out of making the hard decision here. And the hard decision would be to execute a 3 to 4 week air campaign that hits what matters to the IRGC. And what matters to them is the things they own, like shipyards, construction companies, telecommunications companies. These are all legitimate military targets, and they're owned by the IRGC. And that way you can actually pressure the people who are making it hard for us to negotiate an actual solution to this problem.
And Admiral, so many Americans now are paying more for gas. We have been since this conflict started. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson said just yesterday that the Strait of Hormuz will never return to its pre-war situation. How do you interpret that statement?
Well, certainly that's their hope, that they have established the conditions where, look, they have good geography. They had not exploited this in the past to permanently try to block, to impede traffic, international traffic. What's amazing to me is the world community still treats this conflict like two co-equal belligerents between the U.S. and Iran. One of the countries in this is clearly trying to negatively impact the global economy in a permanent way. Because these fees may start small, but they'll become big as Iran tries to rebuild its economy, tries to recover $400 or $500 billion worth of damage. They're going to do that from the world economy, but our European and Asian partners are kind of averting their eyes from the competition here, the contest here, and pretending everybody's equal when they're not. And that's not even getting into that the IRGC is a totalitarian, authoritarian state that practices terrorist activities against its neighbors and killed 30,000 of its own people in 36 hours earlier this year.
Yeah, you bring up very valid points there. So last week, several U.S. cities and states, I talked to one Minnesota mayor not that long ago, happened in Michigan. They saw that cyber attacks attack on their water systems. U.S. intelligence officials right now are saying Iran was likely behind it. President Trump says he doesn't think that's the case. But talk about why Iran would want to do that and how vulnerable America's vital infrastructure could potentially be.
So let's be clear. There's a few facts here. One, the water sector is the absolute weakest link in our national critical infrastructure. State and local utilities don't spend enough to defend it. The federal government's support from the Environmental Protection Agency has been universally bad for 3 decades, so it's weak. Number two, Iran has attacked it in the past. It's their favorite target, whether in Israel or the United States. And then number three, we're at war with Iran. So the president's statements are just disinformation and either dishonest or he's not being properly informed by his staff. Neither one of those are great answers. The intelligence community has it right. This is Iran. We're lucky that it didn't really disrupt systems or damage systems, long-term pumps, long-term, or even worse, change the chemical property of the water, through the injection systems we have in it, and make people sick or die.
Wow. Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.